Is Google putting the lid on the cookie jar? The search giant considering halting a long-standing practice of using cookies to track movements online. It's Thursday, September 19th. Welcome to Lunch Break. I'm Wendy Bounds. Joining me right now, Wall Street Journal reporter Elizabeth Dwoskin. She is in San Francisco. We've also got Corporate Deputy Bureau Chief Spencer Ante with me as well. I get so excited saying your name, Spencer. I just
try to give you a tongue twister every time I know.
All right. I'm going to calm myself here and have you just, for those of us who don't think about this every day, we kind of know what cookies are, but give us the quick 1-2 on that.
Yeah, sure. So for those of you who don't know, there are these little bits of software code that the companies put on your computer and websites put on your computer that basically allow them to track you in order to serve more relevant content and more relevant targeted advertising on your computer to you.
And people have had general issues with cookies. Why, Spencer?
Yeah, so the issue is that people are concerned about their privacy, and some people believe that the cookie is being used in certain ways that present potential violations of your privacy or intrusions on your privacy, because you can be tracked across multiple websites, and then people can create a profile of you that may be more revealing than you want.
All right, Elizabeth, jump in here. Now, Google's thinking about experimenting with something new. Tell us what you know about that.
Exactly. Google, first of all, hasn't done anything yet. They haven't written a line of code, I think. They're just something that they're thinking about. But basically, because the industry has and consumers have complained about cookies, they feel that they're invasive, and so the industry as a whole is trying to find an alternative. What Google has decided to do is, or is considering doing, is replacing cookies with a program called, a system which would be called Ad ID. And what that would do is essentially give anonymous identifiers to users. So I go to a website, and instead of there being like 30 cookies on the Wall Street Journal website that can track my movements across the web at any time from different advertisers, Google would track me, give me one identifier across the web and maybe across mobile, and then would basically sell that information to advertisers. So Google would make itself a broker.
So there still essentially would be tracking our movements and then selling that information. So Elizabeth, what do you think? I mean, more or less privacy for the average consumer using that model?
Well, we don't know yet, but we do know that Google has resisted efforts to block cookies in the past, has resisted efforts to turn on do not track features that other browsers like Safari have. Those are features which immediately tell advertisers that this customer doesn't want to be tracked on the web, and Google has been the most resistant to that of any company. So a lot of privacy advocates are skeptical that this would give people anonymity, especially because there's so many ways to track you across the web.
Spencer, jump in here in terms of advertisers and how advertisers, corporate websites are going to feel about this shift. What's your take, just kind of given your expertise here?
Well, some of the advertisers have already piped up about it, and what they're saying is they're concerned. They're concerned that Google, which is the single largest internet advertising company and is, dominating on the mobile space as well, they're concerned that if they do this, it'll be a power grab by Google, and that Google would control too much of the information that publishers and advertisers need to serve those advertisements. And so, like one person we spoke to in Elizabeth's story said that it's going to limit what advertisers can find out about people, and that all this data will be in the hands of just a few companies. So we don't, like Elizabeth said, this is very early stages for Google. We don't know if they're going to actually even move forward with this. But if they do, I think advertisers are going to resist it to a certain extent and try to sort of change the way it plays out.
Elizabeth, I know it's early and this still hasn't been decided yet, but do you have any sense of timing or what the next step will be for Google in thinking about this shift?
I have no sense of timing, but I do know that there's going to be a lot of talks in the industry and talks to privacy groups, and I'm sure talks with the government as well, because the government, the Federal Trade Commission, was involved in the Do Not Track movement. But also to throw in, as Spencer said, some of the advertisers are worried, but also some of them see potential in this, because right now they only have about a 40 to 60% accuracy when they track you online. So they're only 40 to 60% sure it's you when they track you. And of course they'd love to be much more accurate because that helps their business. And so some people were telling me yesterday that in fact if Google creates one identifier, they're going to find you, and it's going to be easier for them to find you. So it might turn out that it helps their business as well, and you might be tracked even more.
Yeah, interesting point. All right, we'll follow that with you. Elizabeth, thanks so much. Spencer, thanks for jumping in with your expertise too.
Sure,
Appreciate
thank
it.
you.